To arbitrate or not to arbitrate, that is, has been and will be the question for the city of Hagerstown. The Police and Firefighters Union see this as a way to resolve differences. The City Council, I'm guessing, sees this as a loss of control. Now the issue is going to the voters. Ken, what say you on this?
So, first of all, our fire, the fire department and the police department, they both absolutely deserve more than what they're getting right now. Just because they keep us safe. With that said, I have severe concerns about binding arbitration, because now you have someone who has not been elected or appointed by an elected official making decisions on what happens with tax dollars. That really concerns me.
Any other takers?
Sure. I was waiting for a
Yeah.
reaction. I was waiting for a reaction. So, the
moderator.
interesting thing about this issue is it started back in 2014. So in 2014, the firefighters union and the police union presented a petition to the city council that included, I think there was two layers. One was 9,000 and another one was 3,000 signatures. The city council essentially ignored it. So then the police and firefighters union filed suit, won the suit, and on we go. And it's kind of been quiet for a while, but it's back in full force.
Yeah.
I think that a referendum is a good way to solve this. And I hope that the voters learn about the issue before they just walk into the voting booth and say yes and no. Because what we do know for a fact is that the issue can be written, there's a very small window to write things about, and who wouldn't support do you support the firefighters or do you support the city? It depends on how it's going to be written in terms of, I think it's potential for passage. But I think it's a great thing to throw to the voter, assuming we have an informed electorate, which is a big assumption.
Well, I guess we have some time for information here.
Absolutely.
So, it seems to me, they've been at this for a while, and I know some of these people who are affected, police, the union people, they gave up some things a few years ago for the sake of the city in its tough times. And it often happens, as anything happens in government, well, it's this way. Well, we'll extend it a little more, well, it makes it easy for the city, but at the same time, everybody keeps saying we got to support our the people that are the first line defenders, the first responders. They're the ones that have to do it. Then it comes time to do it, they don't want to do it. Whether it's the teachers or this, or, the firefighters 9/11 in New York. The Congress down there doesn't want to support them that way for, medical care they deserve, probably, I should think. So, I don't know. It's one way maybe of solving the issue. It's been around a little while. And why not do it this way? If they go to court, well, the city's going to have to pay court fees. It's going to cost people money. And what is the worst outcome here?
Well, they've already been to court, first of all.
Well, yes, but this may continue. Well, the arbitration, whatever, may settle this. But what could be the worst outcome of this?
Well, maybe what we could do is use the mandate that we have for the trash impact fees, for all the fines that we're levying out, for the properties, and start to redirect that towards helping the city meet their budget. Because I'm not sure if the city has necessarily negotiated in the best of faith with our...
Well, how do they justify, we want to build this, multi-million-dollar walking trail, but our firefighters and our police officers are underpaid? Come on, guys, really?
Chris Berman went there. Come on, guys. There you go.
So looking at it historically, again, I think one of the things that concerned the city government at the time that this original petition was taken is the fact that apparently, or it's reported, that petitioners framed the question in such a way that you would be hard-pressed to say no to signing the petition.
Sure.
And I
That's
understand
water under
that.
the bridge.
It is water under the bridge. But we're spending a lot of intellectual capital, not to mention money on this, for something that, in my mind, let the people be heard.
It should have never gotten to this point.
It should.
Okay?
Really.
Because, so the problem here is we have They want to go to binding arbitration. All right. Now, have they even gone to non-binding arbitration?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't believe
can't
they
answer
have.
that.
Or if they have, then, you know, whatever the non-binding was, it was just completely thrown out the window and ignored anyways.
I don't think they did.
We're looking at this impacting about 160 employees.
Yeah.
100 if memory serves.
And they're not
on the-
asking for the moon,
They
in my
aren't.
opinion. I mean, they had, what, wage freezes for how many years? Step increases they couldn't get? They'd like some of that to be restored, and what, a 1%? I mean, they're not asking for a lot. So what's the worst that really could happen here, as far as I'm concerned, even with the referendum? If it resolves the issue, we move forward, deal with it, it seems.
You know, from
Makes sense
From what I read,
in
some of the
governing.
city council feels that they'll have the power removed from them because they won't be able to negotiate contracts in good faith going forward if this goes to a referendum. They, you know, if this winds up in binding arbitration, the city council really doesn't have any influence on it, then that sort of removes them from negotiations. It winds up being a negative.
Yeah.
It could be
But
a
it's
count.
kind
But
of
they
the
already
point
had
of you
input.
should have learned to
Yeah.
have a conversation and to settle your differences before it got to this point.
Right.
Exactly.
I
There's been
mean,
plenty of input.
exactly. It's like you have to learn to collaborate. You have to learn to compromise. If you're negotiating between management and labor, I don't care if it's a corporation or it's government, you got to learn to give a little to get a little. And when happens, when it's like, this is my side, that's your side, I'm drawing the line, and I'm not willing to communicate, and I'm not willing to compromise on it,
Right.
you end up a binding arbitration.
And
It's like
my-
you made your bed, now lie in
Right,
it.
and my
Exactly. Lay in it,
understanding is
whichever.
that the fire department and the police department, they've been willing to talk, but they have just got nothing back from the city council or the mayor. And, you know, part of me kind of wonders if maybe instead of having a referendum on binding arbitration, maybe they should be having a referendum on implementing recall elections.
Well, they're all up for election now anyway, so.
There you go.
It's a moot point at the
Let the
moment.
public Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
I mean, if this you know, this was all the way back to 2014. If there was the power to implement recall elections back in 2014, I bet they might have been a little bit more willing to talk.
Yeah, I don't know that this would have risen in my mind to the occasion of requiring a recall election, but I agree with what you said, Janice. I think you got to come to the table ready to negotiate. And if this does happen, then the next question is, who picks the arbitrators? Because, you know, regardless
Right.
of what we all say, and this panel, none of us come with our own agendas, right? Wrong. Arbitrators do too, so it'll be interesting to see.
Well, I think we're kind of winding down with this segment. So next up on the flip side, the session in Annapolis is over. We'll have a wrap-up when we come back.